Good evening. Welcome to Dominica Decima Nona Post Pentecost, or the Gospel readings from the 19th Sunday after Pentecost. So there's two parts. We go through the picture first, and then I read out the Gospel in Latin. And lastly, I know I said two parts. Okay, three. There's a little handwriting sheet, and I just go through the bolded part that I selected there. Can't see it? Okay, never mind. But yeah, just a couple of words. And you can print them out, get your kids to trace them, and they'll learn a little bit of Latin vocabulary every week. Yes. Okay, so I tried doing this earlier. This is my second take because I couldn't find this book. And this book is great because it has the translation on the opposite page there. And which is such a simple thing. But I did... I can say I guessed everything perfectly, but I haven't actually checked yet. So, I'm not a Latin expert, but I like the language. So, here is the title: Facit, so makes, Rex, so the king, Rex makes, Facit, Nuptias, a wedding. Nuptias is actually plural, so sometimes you might hear people talking about nuptials being a wedding, and that comes from the Latin nuptias. Filio, so for the son. Facit. Here, and you know how this works? Down the bottom, we have the Latin with each letter. So instead of going backwards and forwards, I'll just focus on the picture now because I've found all the letters, and it can be quite a task to find the little letters. And I'll see if I can highlight them with post-processing this time. So first of all, A is Templum et Porticus Salomonis ubi docebat Jesus. So the temple and the portico of Solomon where teaches Jesus. So Jesus has a little halo out the front. Now, next one is B, and you can see B, which is above this enormous throne where the Rex sits, the king sits. So, Regia ubi sedet in throno is throne, suo Rex. Assidet filius et eos sponsa. Regio omnes cultu et nuptiali. So Regia is the palace. Ubi is where. Sedet sits in throno, on the throne. He's king. And there on his side, his son sits by his side. And you can see this is his son. He's the prince. And next to him is his sponsor, his bride. So yeah, we talk about spouses. That comes from sponsor. So yeah, and you know, it's a gender-neutral word in English, so probably you just change the endings in Latin. Sponsus would be the groom and sponsor would be the bride. There you go. They're all dressed regally and for the wedding, so that's the last bit. Regio omnes cultu et nuptiali. Now we look for C. C is just below these servants on the step, talking to the king. And actually, servi vocaturi ad nuptias invitatos a regi metuntur. The servants are sent out by the king to summon the invited guests to the wedding. So there's the king with his hand out saying, go, invite all the guests to the wedding. Now, D, we look out the window again, and we find D. There's a D there and a D there. Okay, and it says, vocantur, qui suas occupationes externas excusant. So their external occupations, they excuse. They're making excuses all over the place. Ali villam, ali negotiationem. Negotiationem is such a cool word. So negotio is a business. So you have to go to your business or your house, etc. You just check guests are summoned, but some excuse themselves because of foreign affairs, some in the town, some in business, etc. Now, E is down here. Reliqui servos tenent et contumeliis affectos occidunt. And that the king, E. The rest, so alios, or reliqui is the rest. The rest grab the servants, so tenent is grab or hold, and affectos occidunt, and beat them to death. Contumeliis. Yes, and in the Gospel it talks about them being treated contumeliously. Oh, contusions, that's like wounds, isn't it? Wow. Yeah, so it's not just insults, it's actual Yeah, they're getting beaten to death. Yeah, I can imagine the king would be upset with that. And how much is the king upset? Now look at this letter F. And you see this city on fire? Yeah? Oh, and above, that's all the people. Is that all the people being led out of the city? Ooh, okay, so Rex, his auditis, to the king having heard this, missis exercitibus suis, sends, missis exercitibus, exercitus is your armies. So sends his armies, homicidas perdit, homicidas, and perpetrates murders. Et civitatem eorum incendit. Civitatem is their cities, eorum is theirs. Incendit, incendiary. You know, incendiary devices are bombs that are made to burn stuff up. So they're burning down their cities. Hac temos significantur Judei vocati. So far the Jews signify those invited. There you go. Now we find the letter G. G is over the other side, in the other window. This is ex his implentur nuptiae. Oh, I missed a bit. G, servants. Mitsuntur servi advocandos gentiles. It says servi, other servants. Servants are sent to invite the Gentiles, gentiles, which is spelt as Gentiles, but in Latin you pronounce every syllable. A, E, I, O, U. Gentiles. Now H, where's the H? Oh, the H is the people sitting at the table. And there you go. Ex his implentur nuptiae. Implentur, nice and full. The wedding's nice and full. Sit concessus et triclinium preciosissime ornatur. They are seated, and a dining hall is decorated most opulently. So preciosissime ornatur. Ornate being decorative. Preciosissime is most precious. Accidentibus tandem et gentes Judaeis. And with the tribes of the Jews at last coming near. With the tribes of the Jews at last coming near. How does that work? That's a bit of a mystery. Don't worry. Okay, you don't have to understand it all. Just understand a little bit. Get what you can out of it. So over here, there's a little letter I, and you can see this man not wearing very much, and he's been picked up by 3 people, and it looks like the one in the middle is hitting him. But yeah, he's come into this beautifully decorated temple without his wedding garment on. You know that because you've heard this story before, haven't you? Okay. Deprehenditur unus inter omnes, qui nuptiale veste non esset indutus. One of them is apprehended who wasn't dressing in wedding clothes. And K, there's the king, K near the king. And again, he's pointing. Oh, he's got the scepter again. Yeah, he's carrying the scepter in both places. Yeah, so it's a medieval type painting. They duplicate people, so it's the same king in the middle as this king on the throne, just at a different time. Saves paper. Environmentally friendly. Okay. Hunc iubet rex ligatus manibus. Ligatus is binds, manibus, hands, and pedibus, feet. Miti in tenebras exteriores. Tenebras is darkness. Or darknesses, because it's a plural, but it just means darkness. Exteriores is exterior. So sent out into the darkness. There we go. And that's enough for that book. Now we'll go on to the actual gospel. And yeah, I wonder if you can read this. Last time I just had my face and then the words coming up. Anyway, let's see how we go. In illo tempore loquebatur Jesus principibus sacerdotum et Phariseis in parabilis dicens. Do you want me to go through every word? It's a long one. I might just pick out a word here and then. So dicens is saying. So that the general thing at that time, in illo tempore, Jesus says to the principal priests, sacerdotes priests, and Pharisees, the Pharisees, in parabilis, so this in parables. So speaking to the chief priests and Pharisees in parables, saying, simile factum est regnum caelorum homini regi. So the kingdom of heaven, regnum caelorum, is like, simile factum est, to homini regi, a king, a man king, king of men. Needs to do a bit more research. Actually, men doesn't come into the English there. So it's likened to a king. Hey, you could probably study more about this. Qui, who, fecit, made, nuptias, wedding, filioso, to his son, or for his son. Et missit, sent again, servos suos, his servants, vocare, to call, invitatos ad nuptias, inviting everyone to the feast. At nolebant, they couldn't. Nolebant, venire. You come across veni Emmanuel, O come Emmanuel. Veni creator spiritus, come Holy Ghost. We have a lot of veni. Venire is to come. Oh, Ithram, again, he sent other servants, other servants, saying, dicens. So this is what he's saying, dicite invitatis. Speak this invitation. Oh, and this is the bit I highlighted. Ecce, behold, prandium, my dinner. Prandium meum, my dinner. Pravi is prepared. Tauri, you know Taurus, Taurus, the star sign means bull. So Tauri is bulls. My bulls, Tauri mei, at alitilia uccisa sunt. So he says it beeves and fatlings, or bulls and other ones. Altilia. I haven't looked up every word here. At omnia parata. Everything is prepared. Omnia. Everything parata. Prepared. Venite. Come, all of you. Veni is one person coming, so veni Emmanuel, we're tasking Emmanuel to come. But then when we're singing Venite adoremus at Christmas time, we're saying everybody come. Yeah. Does that make sense? Ad nuptias, to the wedding. Illi autem neglexerunt. So all neglected. Ad abierunt. Went away. Alios in villam suum, to his villa. Alios vero ad negotiationem suum. That's business, like I said before. Reliqui, the rest, vero tenuerunt servos eos, caught hold of their servants, and contumelius effectos occiderunt, beat them to death. Rex autem, so the king therefore, cum audicit, when he heard, audio is to do with hearing, iratus est, he was really irate, or really angry, as you would be. Et missis et secitibus suis, and sending his armies, perdit it homicidas, illos ad civitatem illorum succendit. So he saw before, kills everyone, sets fire to their cities. No mucking around with this guy. Tunc is then, et servis suis, said to his servants. Sorry, it's usually disciples, isn't it? Because usually Jesus. But this is a king talking to his servants. Nuptiae quidem parate sunt. This wedding is prepared. Sed qui invitati erunt, non fuerunt digni. Oh, there's an extra space in there. I will have to fix that. Hopefully it'll be all fixed by the time you have a look at this webpage. Or in your missal, when you look at it on Sunday. They were not worthy. They weren't dignum. Remember dignum et justum est in the Mass? So, those who were invited, they were not worthy. Ite ergo, go therefore, ad exitus viarum, to the ways, et quoscumque inveneritis vocate et nuptias, and tell everyone there, come to the wedding. Et egressi servi eos in vias, and the servants went in the ways, congreverunt, gathered together, omnes quos invenerunt, everyone who they found. Malos, bad, et bonos, and good. Et implete sunt nuptiae discumbentium, and full was a wedding feast with guests. Discumbentium. That's a new word for me, discumbentium. Yeah, a lot of Latin words you can kind of guess, but I can't guess with that one. Put in the comments if you can think of a Latin root that relates to guests there. Discombobulate doesn't... Okay. Intravit autem rex. So, coming in the rex, the king, ut videret discumbentes, the guests. So he's coming in to see the guests. Et vidit ibi hominem, non vestirum, veste nuptiali. So he's not a hominum, a man, not wearing a nuptial vest or a wedding garment. Et ait illi, and he said to him, Amice, friend. That's a handy thing, amice. Quomodo, huc intrasti non habens vestum nuptialem. Why you come in here not wearing a nuptial gown? They say that's actually given as part of the invitation. So it doesn't mean he was just poor and couldn't afford one. He has actually lost it. He was given it and he's lost it. At ille obmutuit. At ille obmutuit. He was mute. He was dumb. He didn't say anything back. That's a guy without any clothes on. Tunc dixit rex ministris. Then said the king to the ministers or the servants, Ligatus, I guess, bind. Manibus, hands. Et pedibus, eos, so bind his hands and his feet. Mitite, send eum, him, in tenebras, the darkness, exteriores. Ibi erit fletus, et striro dentium. Dentium is your teeth. And there will be weeping, fletus. You know, gementes et flentes in the Salve Regina? Yeah, so gementes and flentes is mourning and weeping. So fletus. Yeah, it makes, I don't know, once you learn the words and you sort of associate them, you can see the tears when you see fletus or flentes. Anyway, then the famous line, multi enim sunt vocati, pauci vero electi. So many are called, but few are chosen. You don't hear about this little word enim. Enim translates as for. So we say for many are called, few are chosen. So for in English comes at the beginning of a sentence, but enim in Latin never sits at the beginning of a sentence. It's always a second word, usually the second word. Is it ever not the second word? It's not the first word anyway. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll get to that because I've used those words in the worksheet below, which we're going to next. So this, if you click on this, hopefully it will bring up this worksheet. There you go. Whoops. Ecce. Ecce is behold. You know, ecco, if you know Italian, ecco. Prandium is dinner. So it's talk about having a postprandial walk. It means a walk after dinner, which I highly recommend. Meum is my. Oh, so you see prandium and dinner. Dinner is down, prandium is up. So you need to make an X going from prandium to dinner. Then paravi to I have prepared. Okay, I might try to animate that with my special editing skills, or maybe I won't. Okay, paravi, I have prepared. So you got that? So prandium is dinner, paravi is I have prepared. Venite, come ye, ad nuptias, to the marriage. I think the rest is fairly one-to-one. Multi enim. So as like I said before, enim is for, multi is many. Multitude or multi-pack of something, many. Sunt vocati. Sunt is are, vocati is called. So voco is I call. Pauci, very few. It's some, you can say you have a paucity of something if you have few of something. Pauci vero. And vero here means but. And electi means are chosen. So multi enim sunt vocati, pauci vero electi. There we go. So thank you to schoolfonts.com for your fonts. And I think that about wraps it up. Okay, so this is where I say like and subscribe my channel thing, and yeah, I'll try to do this again next week. It seems to be averaging about getting ready. I can aim to have them ready for Saturday. So then, yeah, you have to get your kids to do a worksheet on Saturday, which I'm going to try to do too. And yeah, I hope you get a little bit out of it each time. Yeah, God bless, and see you next week.